afternoon. Welcome. This is a great day in Aransas County again. 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, yeah, no, 4 years ago, we were celebrating the opening of Cedar Bayou. Harvey came along and closed it for us, but we have a good crew working, a long-term recovery team working hard with the congressman and the state, and here we are getting ready to get it open again, and for the betterment of our ecosystem and the fishing and hunting and everything. I mean, tourist-wise, it's going to go crazy because of the ecosystem being so good. As you know, when it closed, when we reopened it, I should say, after many, many years of being closed, within a week, juvenile redfish showed up, and redfish and Mesquite Bay hadn't been there in years. In a month's time, blue crab were everywhere in all parts of the bay. Well, it's been closed since Harvey, and it's starting to go the other way. I'll have a fishing expert talk about that in a little bit. But here we are, and I'd like to welcome, of course, Congressman Cloud. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Representative Morrison, thank you for being here. She's my bulldog from getting it open the first time. And of course, we have local Mayor Rios from Rockport, and Commissioner Cheney from Aransas County. We have Commissioner Malcolm Decal from Navigation District, and what's the other elected official? You got any more? All right, I'm going to make this a little short because I think you'd rather hear from Aaron Horine from Mont McDonald. And here goes my phone. And what he has to say and how we're going to get this done. And then we'll have a presentation and checks from the state and federal government. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Aaron.
Thank you, Judge. Give me 1 second here. Let's see if I can get it. Let's share my screen. There we go. Bear with me, folks. Okay. Thanks everybody for being here. I'm really excited about the project. My name is Aaron Horine. I'm a principal coastal engineer with Mont McDonald out of our Corpus Christi office. And we've been working with Aransas County on this project for going on almost 15 years here. So I'm very passionate about the project, and I'm very happy to see that now here we are about to be in 2021 and an opening after the devastation that we saw from Harvey. So really what we're going to be looking at is, why is Cedar Bayou important? So the main three reasons are red drum, blue crab, and hooping crane. And the open Cedar Bayou is good for the ecology and habitat for these red drum, and that in turn turned into a positive economic impact for Texas. So these numbers that I'm showing here are for all of Texas in the, really from the income from fishing. It's got a lot of jobs, almost $1 billion per year, and that is from everything related to fishing, guide services, fishing tackle, boat maintenance, boats, all of that. So all of that goes into that industry, and red drum helps support that. And then over to the blue crab, these guys are primary food source for the hooping cranes that come in. There is a very robust commercial and recreational fishery, and we also know that these numbers are declining for the blue crab. And so then, the main star here is the wintering hooping cranes that migrate down that are endangered, and then going back to the blue crab, they do eat these, and this also has a positive impact on the ecotourism in the area, and all this really impacts Rockport because it is a fishing community. And so, why is a closed Cedar Bayou bad? Well, one reason is that there's such a long distance between the other two inlets that are nearby here. So you've got Pass Cavallo to the north, Aransas Pass down in Port Aransas to the south, and without Cedar Bayou open, the necton, the redfish, the sport fish, the crabs, they have no way of going in and out. And to the area shown in red really can't be accessed from the other two inlets that connect to the Gulf. So you had this large area of nursery for these redfish and other things with an open Cedar Bayou that they can actually access. So really, I'm just going to pick on the red drum here, just because the Hart Research Institute really focused a lot of their studies on the red drum, and really the whole cycle with the open Cedar Bayou allows the adult fish to spawn, be able to have the eggs and larval and the juvenile redfish move back in, get into those nurseries, the seagrass nurseries, and then move their way into Aransas Bay and also up to San Antonio Bay, which, as I mentioned, is can't be accessed if Cedar Bayou is closed. So what I have here is two pictures. The above this is going back to the 2014 opening, and this is prior to the opening. I've got Vincent Slough highlighted, Cedar Bayou, and the channel migration zone, which is almost a mile, pretty large area. And this is what it looked like prior to the opening. And then down below is what it looked like just after it was open. And so I got a video here. It's a little choppy here, but really this was taken whenever the last couple of cubic yards were removed, connecting the Gulf to Cedar Bayou. It was really a great day, a lot of fanfare, a lot of folks that were very excited about this project, and including myself. So then the bottom picture shows what ended up being it already started migrating within a couple months. So I got another video here, and this video was taken within a couple of weeks of it opening. Sorry for the choppiness of the video, but within a couple of weeks, we already saw tons of movement of bait fish, of sport fish, including redfish. Juveniles were already being found in Mesquite Bay, and this brings in the birds and other wildlife. So it really area really flourished. You can see some of the boats there. People were coming in almost immediately to come look at Cedar Bayou. So the top picture here was the last picture prior to Harvey. So this was January of 2017. Still open, moving across the migration zone. And then this area was about 5 days after Harvey here. And really the devastation that happened was that all the material that was out in the migration zone, all the sand got really shoved back into both the channels, clogging them up. And now you have a void along the shoreline. And what the shoreline wants to do is heal itself. So sand that's moving up and down the beach wants to fill that in. So now it's kind of a double hit to the system, because you got sand moving in and then other sand back behind it. So it really impacted negatively all of the habitat that we were seeing after it was open. So this is one of my favorite little figures here. Not only because I created it, but I do like it. It sums up the whole thing. And what it is, we're looking at the habitat area in acres, all of the entire area of Cedar Bayou, Vincent Slough. And so what you can see here is on the far left, that's the Cedar Bayou opening from 2014. And so we also have traces on there of the wetlands, seagrass beds, and smooth boardgrass. So you can see as as it's open, it was kind of flatlining here, and then as it opens up, you can see the wetlands just explode. And over the years, 2015, 2016, they just continue to increase. So we were on a 5-year monitoring, and every year we were doing habitat surveys. And then you can see just almost dead stop right there at Harvey in 2017. Everything nearly flatlines, and some of it even dropping below the pre-2014 opening amounts. So this figure really sums up what we're trying to do with Cedar Bayou and the impact from Harvey to all of that we spent so much time and effort getting done. So this was a video taken by Heart Research Institute, and just for reference, there's a boat down here on the bottom. So just to give you a sense of the wide expanse of the area, and really what had happened is all of this sand got moved in, wiped off vegetation, smothered habitat, and really choked Vincent Slough and Cedar Bayou. So, pretty heavy devastation there, and it was instantaneous. So, what's the path forward? We're here. It's great that we're here, and we have the funding now. And actually, Mont McDonald just got under contract with Aransas County. We're starting work on design. We're starting surveys out at Cedar Bayou. And as of right now, we are planning on getting the construction to start the opening in April of 2021. Should be it's about a 6-month window into October when they can work outside of the wintering hooping crane window as they're migrating down. And so, I'm really happy to be a part of it. I'm glad that this project isn't just dead on the side of the road here. That actually has this funding. It's got the support from everybody, and we're really happy to be a part of it. And on the adaptive management side, everything we learned from the 2014 opening and all the monitoring, we're incorporating that. So we're really optimizing our design as we move forward. We also have the potential for working with the Aransas Wildlife Refuge to be able to allow them to beneficially use some of that material in areas that are eroding on the backside of Matagorda Island. So we're really looking at different ways to make Cedar Bayou opening more beneficial. And I think that's everything I had for my presentation.
And I always forget somebody. Senator Coler's lady from Victoria, right? Jill Fox is here representing the senator. We appreciate you being here. Now, come on up here, Jeannie. We're going to get the representative to present the first check from Texas Parks and Wildlife. We appreciate it. Get it out here. Take a check. Appreciate it. I just don't know how we're going to deposit it yet. We do appreciate this check. We go a long ways to get this in.
Well, Judge, it's another great day being here today. In 2014, when we had worked to get the funding, Judge Mills had been working on getting Cedar Bayou open for 10 years. And we finally got the rest of the funding that he needed from all the contributions that he had been working on so long. And it it was a wonderful day in 2014 where we were out there watching the last bit of sand pulled up, and literally immediately the water started running. Now it didn't always stay the way we thought it would, because Vincent Slough then decided it was going to go over the Vincent Slough from Cedar Bayou over the Vincent Slough and open up. But it was unbelievable what happened when all of the sea life came back in again, and the crabs came back in, and the fish came back in, and they had things to eat, and everything grew. And the fishing guide said, "Wow, it's back," because Cedar Bayou had gotten so much salinity, and things were just not growing in there anymore. And so it was a big boom to Rockport and the whole area to have good fishing again, and also the whooping cranes and all of the wildlife that needed all of that to eat. And so I can't believe then 3 years later, Hurricane Harvey came in and all the sand was put back in and closed it up. And we have seen the difference. All of you fishermen out there and all of you that watch the whooping cranes and all, you lost all of that sea life and all of the different things that came in. And so I'm really looking forward. I'm so glad this money is from Senate Bill 7. And there was a provision we put in there that if you received a FEMA grant and you had to pay the 10% match of the 90-10 match, that the state would pick up 75% of that. And so that's where this money is coming from. And I can't wait, Judge, for it to open again and go out there and watch it and have the fishing come back again. Rockford has good fishing, but it's going to be much better again as soon as it's opened up. And I'm so pleased to be here today, and look forward to that happening and going out there with you again and watching it open up. Thank y'all very much.
Congressman, if you'll step up here, I always have the ladies talk first, if you don't mind. And yeah, check cloud work extremely hard in this staff.
Thank you. It's good to be here today. This is just another great example of a project that highlights what Texas does best, both in the recovery effort that's been going on since Hurricane Harvey, to see our communities come together, partner with our state and federal to bring about the recovery that needs to happen, and to watch Texas just put their boots to work, seeing things happen. And so, as well as just the understanding of that economy and our environment aren't antithetical to each other. Here we see how protecting, preserving a habitat is essential, as well as to protecting and preserving the economic engine of Rockport and the tourism that happens, and all the fishing and all the wonderful things that we love about our coastal community. And so kudos to Judge for having the foresight to put this together in the first place, and then work together with the state and the county and city to ensure that we get this taken care of and restored following Hurricane Harvey. And so today's just a wonderful day. We look forward, of course, to the completion of it. And like the state representative said, being able to get out here fishing again and see all the wildlife come back. But this is just a wonderful day. And so happy to see it happen. And we look forward, of course, to continue great days ahead.
Thank you, Congressman. Mayor Rios, would you like to say a few words?
Well, thank you, Judge. For starters, I just want to congratulate you for all your hard work, perseverance in getting this done again. It's not an easy project, but I know how much this means to all of us, to the entire community. And it's all because of your efforts, Judge. Thank you so much. It's good to see everybody.
Nice kind words. I guess my history with Cedar Bayou goes back further than probably everybody that's in here. My family and I go back to the fishing guy family, and I remember going out there in 1950s. That generation, that decade. Anyway, Chairman Decal, would you like to say a few words? Now, there's a gentleman out here that knows more about the bays than probably anybody else in here. But Mr. Nessaloni, David Nessaloni, would you please come up and say a few words about your knowledge of Cedar Bayou?
How y'all doing? David Nessaloni, Senior. Glad I get to take this off. You know, all I got to say is, hey, I agree with the gentleman that just spoke that this would have never happened if it wasn't for Judge Mills. And I've known this guy since I was 4. So, and I'm 66. So I used to work for his dad for $4 a day as a deckhand. So that tells you a lot. Anyway, and we used to go to Cedar Bayou, and it, you know, back then it was absolutely beautiful what it looked like, and it hadn't been that way since probably the late 60s or early 70s, when it was absolutely gorgeous over there. The grasses, the water, and that's what I look forward to now is if we don't get any more storms, sooner or later the water will be crystal clear, the grass will be green, beautiful, and this has been a long time ago since that's happened, but it will be that way again. You'll even have flying fish in the Cedar Bayou, and I've seen them when I was a kid. Beautiful flying fish flying over there like they're in blue water. Anyway, that'll take time, but you know, the birds, the fish, the crabs, you know, the red drum, trout, flounder, and let me say this, the shrimp. I don't know how many of you've ever been over there at night and watched shrimp go through, but I'm talking about you could throw a cast net and you can't hardly pick it up. And those days are still, you can still do that to this day when it's right. Of course, it's illegal, but I mean, it does happen. And of course, a lot of you probably fished over there, and there's lots of, I mean, sometimes you can catch a trout every cast, and not babies, but good trout, redfish, gig a lot of flounder. Let me tell you a story, and it's always blown my mind. Years ago, back in the 70s, I floundered Cedar Bayou, me and a friend of mine. And this is true. You know, fishing guides, this fishing guide does not tell stories. We floundered Cedar Bayou, and I'll never forget it, and I tell this story a lot. From the shoreline for 2 miles, or however long it is to the surf, from Mesquite Bay, off the shoreline for at least 10 feet, there were crabs together within a few inches apart for 2 miles, 10 feet off the shoreline, and every one of them were females with their sponges on the back. Millions and millions and millions and millions of crabs for 2 miles, 10 feet off the shoreline, just like this. Nobody's ever seen that before in their life. That's the honest God's truth. You could walk on them. not a male, all female, either going out or coming in. I'll never forget it. That's honest God's truth. Anyway, make this short. No, it's wonderful for the fishing guides, for the tackle people, for the bait people, for the hotels, for the restaurants. It always has been, and it'll be, if it ever has time to really develop, it'll be beautiful all over. Grass, seagrass, salt grass, beautiful sand in our bay system. No more icky stuff, clean water. That's what we need. Thanks, Judge.
Well, what time is it? I like to be on time sometimes. Okay, we still got a little time. I'd like to really thank my team. I get all the accolades, but actually it was long-term recovery that did they did 98% of the work. Of course, we had a lot of help from the state and the federal government, and we do appreciate that. One other person that might ought to come up and talk, or at least one other, is Charlie Belair with Belair Environmental. He knows something about Cedar Bayou and what was going on 4 years ago and what's going on today. Charlie, would you come up, please?
Thank you, Judge. I wasn't prepared for this, so whatever comes out is natural. Kind of like Cedar Bayou is going to be again. But I've been fortunate enough to have a relationship with Cedar Bayou for the last 40 years since we moved down here. And we were fortunate enough to do all the habitat surveys prior to and after the opening back in 2014. And as Bert said and Aaron said, the results were incredible. And so thank you, Bert, for all your efforts, and thank you, the elected officials. This is a great day for Aransas County.
And I'd be amiss if I forgot Coastal Bend Conservation. Come on up here, Blaha. You thought you were going to get away with it, didn't you?
No, I just, like David said, when this bio is open and when it's flowing, this system comes alive. I was very fortunate the first go around to follow the construction very closely with Aaron and his crew, and every week or every other week you'd go out there and you see something different. And then once I got to a point to where Cedar Bayou and Vincent Slough were more or less tied together, still weren't tied to the Gulf, but they were tied together. It's like this whole place came alive. The birds, the fish, the contractors were worried about the sharks swimming around, and just came alive. And so you understand how it affects the entire system from not only Mesquite Bay and Aransas Bay. We were out there in a 22-foot boat. We were anchored up in the middle of the channel. And again, it's not open to the Gulf. It's just open from Mesquite Bay to Aransas Bay through Vincent Slough. There was enough circulation there to swing the boat into a 20-knot wind, because that's how hard the current was flowing at that time. And that's how critical it is. And again, thank you, Judge Mills. I mean, without your drive, your staff, and your team, we wouldn't be here today. Thank you, Representative Morrison, Congressman Cloud. It's real for this community. Before it opened last time, I was talking to different people, and my other favorite stories. I walked into one of the hotels one day, asked the guy how business was going, and he had no idea who I was. He said, "We need Cedar Bayou open. When Cedar Bayou opens, we have business." So it's not only the ecosystem, but it trickles down to the entire economy. So it's important. Look forward to y'all's success. Hope we can be a part of it on the back end. Got a couple of things cooking we hope can work out. And thank you, everyone, for your help.
As you can see, we got a lot of people in this room that know about Cedar Bayou and its importance to our community. So with all these people working together because of social distancing, they're not all here. I'm sure we could have packed this place. we're going to get this open, and it's going to be bigger and better than it ever was. Thank you all, and I believe the TV crew want to interview some people, so get after it. I'll be over here. Anyway, thank you for coming, and God bless you all.